dolls, Curlychaotic, welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be a chit chat video all about hair dyeing and hair coloring. So as you know, about nearly 2 months ago or so, I've gotten my hair colored, and although I've been receiving tons of compliments, I've also been receiving tons of questions about hair color. Now that is not my area of expertise, but however, I will be glad to share helpful tips and tricks for you guys on choosing a stylist or getting it done professionally. This is also going to be a collab video with one of my YouTube sisters, Candace. I am going to leave her YouTube and her social medias in the description box below, so make sure you check out her channel because I am going to be giving you guys 10 tips on getting your hair dyed professionally, and she's going to be giving you guys 10 tips on dyeing your hair at home. So without further ado, keep on watching. Okay, so tip number 1 is, most importantly, you want to do some research on just hair dye and hair color in general. You want to look at the pros and cons of dyeing your hair at home or getting it done professionally. If you decide you want to get your hair done professionally, obviously you want to find a stylist and do some research on that stylist. Now, I don't mean do a background check to see if they're a criminal. No, not that type of research. Research as far as their skills, their work ethic. If they have a portfolio on social medias, look at it. If you know people who got their hair done somewhere, look at pictures. Make sure you are comfortable with your stylist. With that being said, just because it's a stylist, it doesn't always mean that they are the ones that's going to be coloring your hair. So that's why I said you need to do research. For instance, sometimes they have your hairstylist, they have hair assistants who might shampoo your hair or help out the hairstylist, and then you have the colorist who is specifically working with color. Sometimes they have a stylist that does all three, which is a win-win. But that's all I mean when I say just do your research. Okay, tip number 2. If you don't have the acquired skills to do it yourself at home, seek professional help. Go see a stylist. Not to say that you can't dye your hair at home, because it's definitely doable, but you just want to make sure you know what you're doing, because this is your hair we're talking about. So if you don't know what you're doing, you can actually cause more harm than good. So if you feel this is just not your department, like hair coloring, don't mess with it. See a stylist or see somebody who knows what they're doing. Okay, tip number 3, I would recommend you see a professional if you are trying to go a few shades lighter. I say that because it's a multiple step process in doing so. Not to mention, sometimes you may have to remove your original color, then you have to do the toner, sometimes you gotta add a desired shade. So with that being said, I would definitely recommend seeing a professional then. Tip number 4, I would recommend seeing a professional if you're trying to fix a problem. Perfect example, you dyed your hair at home, it's not the color you want, or you did damage, or just anything in that nature, see a professional then. Tip number 5 I have for you guys, I definitely recommend seeing a professional if you want to know the condition your hair is in. To elaborate on that, if you want to know the porosity levels of your hair, if your hair is in a healthy state, your level of dryness, breakage, thinning, just to name a few, you want to make sure that your hair is in tip-top shape before you're getting any type of chemicals or anything processed to your hair. Definitely see a professional in a situation like that. Okay, tip number 7, I'm basically going to break down the main differentiation of box dye or at-home dye versus getting it done professionally. Okay, so salon dye is basically where it gives your stylist more leeway. It gives them more control over how they want the color to turn out from mixing. Box dye or at-home dye is basically, think of it like a one-size-fit-all type of thing. So in other words, a salon dye is a created formula for your hair, and then the box dye is kind of like unknown results. You don't know what you're gonna get. Unless, of course, you take a strand of your hair and do like a strand test or whatever. But some people don't have time for that, you know. Tip number 8 I have for you guys is box dyes usually come in 3 to 4 levels as far as, I guess, the shading or the color coding system, whereas in a salon it's higher. You have more shades to choose from. if you go to a salon. Okay, number 9. The main reason why I recommend seeing a professional is because when you dye your hair at a salon, usually it lasts longer. If they make any mistakes or corrections, they can fix it right then and there on the spot, as opposed to you may have to go back to the drugstore or your beauty supply store to buy more color. If I have a red color or whatever and I want it to go darker, they can fix it right then and there. Not to mention, it's mess free. For me, that was a better option because I am not trying to get no dye all over my house. You know, I have kids or whatever. So I just know for me, I wanted to see a professional because I know nothing about hair color. I will leave that to the pros. That's my personal preference though. The only thing I would say about getting your hair dyed professionally, or the only con to it, is not only is hair color addicting, getting it done obviously is it's maintenance. It's high maintenance. You know, if you're a person where you're gonna keep coloring your hair, then you know it can be obviously costly. It can be pretty expensive. If you're going to see a stylist every 2 to 4 months to get your hair recolored, then definitely it can be pretty expensive. Just imagine how many times a year you would have to go to a salon, because don't think this color is gonna last. It's already faded from the time I got it done. It's around that time now where if I want that same vibrant red I originally had, it's about that time that I should get it done, and that's been about 2 months. And tip number 10, overall, it is obviously your preference, whatever you feel most comfortable with. If you feel that you are on a budget and you know what you're doing, go for the at-home dye. If you feel like you can afford to get your hair done every couple months, or if it's a one-time thing, or if you just want to get that consult the first time, definitely see a professional. And so guys, although this video is coming to an end, don't forget to check out Natively Natural's channel. I'm going to leave her information in the description box below, especially if you are going to be dyeing your hair at home. It's definitely something you do not want to miss. You guys can see how beautiful her hair turned out. So with that being said, I will see you dolls next time. Bye!